true Christian. Confusing thought, special interest, poverty process. A true Christian. Social progress makes the well-being of all more and more the business of each. It binds all closer and closer together in bonds from which none can escape. He who observes the law and the proprieties and cares for his family, yet not interested in the general weal, and gives no thought for those who are trodden underfoot, save now and then to bestow alms, is not a true Christian. He is not a good citizen. Taken from Social Problems by Henry George. Confusing thought. That thought on social questions is so confused and perplexed that the aspirations of great bodies of men, deeply though vaguely conscious of injustice, are in all civilized countries being diverted to futile and dangerous remedies, is largely due to the fact that those who assume and are credited with superior of social and economic laws have demoted their powers, not to showing where the injustice lie, but to hiding it, not to clearing common thought, but to confusing it. Stated by Henry George, a perplexed philosopher. Special interest. The power of special interest, though inimical to the general interest, so to influence common thought as to the fallacies passed as truths, is a great fact, without which neither the political history of our own time and people, nor that of other times and peoples, can be understood. A comparatively small number of individuals brought into virtual, though not necessarily formal, agreement of thought and action by something that makes them individually wealthy, without adding to the general wealth, may exert an influence out of all proportion to their numbers. A special interest of this kind is to the general interests of society, as a standing army is to an unorganized mob. It gains intensity and energy in its specialization, and in the wealth it takes from the general stock, finds power to mold opinion. Leisure and culture, and the circumstances and conditions that command respect, accompany wealth, and intellectual ability is attracted by it. On the other hand, those who suffer from injustice that takes from the many to enrich the few are in that very thing deprived of the leisure to think, and the opportunities, education, and graces necessary to give their thought acceptable expression. They are necessarily the unlettered, the ignorant, the vulgar, prone in their consciousness of weakness to look up for leadership and guidance to those who have the advantages that the possession of wealth can give. Taken from The Science of Political Economy by Henry George. Poverty process. With this build-up, the vast majority of the world's citizens are increasingly becoming poorer. The concentration of taxation on processes and products, and the insufficient taxation on land values are the real causes of this inequitable distribution. The current form of taxation necessarily falls more heavily on the poor and in favor of the rich. Taxes are passed on to the poor in the form of higher prices, and with respect to setting up business, more capital is needed to overcome the price of land, giving the advantage to larger businesses with larger capital capacities. With these advantages in place, there is no doubt that monopolies and such like would come about. Insufficient taxation on land values enable the land speculator to make monstrous fortunes on the basis of the inevitable increase in site values, wealth not created by him and not representing any addition in the general wealth of the community, but only the appropriation of what the labor of others have created. We can see everywhere that this inequitable distribution of wealth has created two classes of idle people. Firstly, there is the class of the idle rich, and secondly, there is the class of the idle poor. The second group of people, which is huge, are those that have been denied capital, facilities, and opportunities that could make them efficient producers of wealth. This denial greatly reduces the general quantum of wealth in the community. This is taken from On Development, Innovative Solutions for the Development Dilemma Facing Trinidad and Tobago by Nigel Gittins.